Is Britain now facing a crisis from within, as a new asylum guide ignites a fierce political battle? Has Britain's migration crisis deepened so far that asylum seekers now need an official guide on basic public conduct? Why is the UK telling new asylum seekers not to rape or harass women, sparking outrage over the guidance? Could breaking the rules now cost asylum seekers their support or immigration claim, as Burnham issues a stark warning? With 93,525 asylum claims in 1 year, can Burnham's government ease Britain's mounting migration pressures? Britain's new asylum guide on sex and consent has ignited a fierce political row, with critics divided over both its purpose and the message it sends. On August 21st, the Home Office published new guidance for people seeking UK asylum, explaining legal and social expectations for those living in Britain. The 9-page booklet explains British laws on consent, abuse and public conduct, alongside guidance on gender equality, personal safety and accessing help. It warns that breaking UK law could affect asylum support or an immigration claim, while also exposing individuals to potential police action. Women can work, study and travel independently in Britain, with the law protecting their right to make their own life choices. Women can choose whom they want to marry, and no person is legally permitted to force another person into marriage. Consent is required before any sexual contact, meaning both people must freely agree before sex or other intimate activity takes place. Consent is also required within marriage, because being married or in a relationship does not remove a person's legal right to refuse sex. Consent can be withdrawn at any point, even if a person previously agreed or is already taking part in a sexual encounter. Domestic abuse and coercive control are illegal in Britain, including threats, intimidation, violence, and controlling another person's movements or finances. Sexual harassment in public is prohibited, including unwanted sexual comments, gestures or conduct aimed at strangers in streets and other public places. Following or blocking someone's path is unacceptable, particularly when it makes another person feel threatened, intimidated, or unable to leave safely. The Home Office said offenders could lose asylum support or face removal from Britain, depending on the nature of the offense and immigration case. The guidance arrives amid a wider political battle over migration, crime and integration, with parties arguing over how Britain should manage asylum arrivals. A total of 93,525 people sought asylum in the year to March 2026, according to the latest Home Office immigration figures. Applications fell 12% from the previous year, but the number of asylum claims remains more than double the level recorded before the pandemic. Nearly 70,000 migrants and foreign criminals were returned or deported, according to government figures. Those returns cover the period since Labour took power in July 2024, including both enforced removals and people who left voluntarily. Nearly 10,000 foreign criminals were removed, according to the BBC's understanding of official figures since the previous general election. That figure was up 36% against the previous 21 months, reflecting the government's increased focus on removing foreign nationals convicted of crimes. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz mocked the guide, asking why Britain admits men who need to be told not to rape or harass women. Reform UK's Zia Yusuf called the document a disgrace and attacked its very premise, arguing it showed the government had failed to control migration. Green peer Jenny Jones said the move risks feeding right-wing tropes about migrants, warning that the guidance could stigmatize people seeking asylum. However, Prime Minister Andy Burnham said the government's principle is to remove those who break UK law, linking the policy to public safety and border enforcement. This comes as tensions between Russia and Britain rise after Ukraine's drone attacks, adding external security pressure to London's growing domestic political challenges. Russia has accused the UK of escalating the Ukraine war after British-made drones were reportedly used in attacks inside Russian territory. The Russian embassy in London said Britain was increasingly becoming an accomplice in attacks on Russian territory, pointing to its growing military support for Kiev. Moscow warned that Britain would face consequences, saying the price for London would continue to rise as UK involvement in the conflict deepens. Statement by Russian embassy to the UK read, and I quote, "In doing so, the United Kingdom is acting as an accomplice and co-perpetrator of the bloody crimes and terrorist attacks. London's actions will inevitably carry consequences for which it will have to answer. The deeper its involvement in the conflict, the higher the price it will pay." Unquote. London rejected the Russian warning and said Britain would continue standing shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine despite Moscow's threats. The British Defence Ministry said it remains committed to providing Ukraine with military equipment, including systems designed to strengthen Kiev's ability to strike Russian targets. Britain has already announced plans to supply tens of thousands of drones to Ukraine, including long-range systems capable of reaching targets deep behind Russian lines. The drones were built by two British companies and have reportedly been used in attacks against industrial targets located inside Russian territory. A military source confirmed to BBC News that UK-made drones had been used in some of the attacks, potentially deepening the dispute between Moscow and London. Ukraine also targeted Wildberries logistics facilities, with reports indicating that 7 of the company's 10 centers have been disabled in the ongoing strikes. Ukraine has been deploying British-made drones in sustained long-range strike operations deep inside Russian territory for the past 6 months, according to multiple defense and media reports. British drones have now been confirmed in Ukrainian attacks far beyond the front lines, with the Sunday Times reporting their repeated use in high-value missions targeting critical Russian infrastructure. Among the systems employed is the BAE Systems Nayan, a jet-powered attack drone capable of high-speed precision strikes against hardened targets deep within enemy territory. Before finding its way into Ukrainian hands, the Nayan drone underwent extensive trials with the British Royal Navy, where it was evaluated for maritime and land attack roles. In addition to the Nayan, at least one other British-made drone has been used in these operations, though the identity of its manufacturer remains classified and undisclosed to the public. Despite the growing presence of UK-supplied systems, the majority of Ukraine's deep strike campaigns continue to rely on domestically produced drones developed by its own defense industry. A senior Ukrainian military source has stated that British drones have achieved significant operational success, particularly in evading Russian air defenses and striking high-priority targets. These British-made systems have been used to hit oil refineries in the Moscow region as well as facilities in Yaroslavl, hundreds of miles from the Ukrainian border. Further strikes have also targeted an oil refinery in Volgograd, demonstrating the extended range and strategic reach now possible with Western-supplied drone technology. The reported use of British drones in these deep penetration missions marks a major shift in their role, transforming them from support assets into central instruments of Ukraine's long-range war strategy.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.